Utah State was speaking on Tuesday as LSU will host the Aggies Saturday morning. 11 o'clock is the official time for kickoff, 7 a.m. for your pregame. Here is Anderson talking about the Tigers.
A big challenge, obviously. They're a great football team, battling like crazy to keep themselves in that top four spot wherever they're at. To me, on film, they appear to be there where they should be. They're very talented, played very, very well. Great athletes, well coached. It'll be a tremendous challenge, and it'll be we're walking into an early morning kickoff, which is, I believe, a good thing for us. Let's get over there and get the game and hop into it and play early, which I like that opportunity to be able to play an early kickoff, and it'll be a great place to play for our kids. It's a once in a lifetime. This team gets to fly across the country and go play these guys in that setting and play a team that's that high nationally ranked.
Yeah, I guess the only problem with that early kickoff is that I think it's going to be, about 90 degrees at kickoff? And what are they practicing in right now, Rivers, you were saying?
Like 50 degrees,
ooh,
yeah.
Ooh, here's what Gary Anderson had to say about it.
One of the big things for this game is we're going to practice in 50-degree weather this week, all week long, and it's going to be 95 and probably humidity very, very high in that situation. So that will be our challenge to make sure we hydrate, get ourselves where we need to be in those positions, those spots, and we may be used to that in August, but we're not used to that now. So it'll be potentially a 40, 50-degree swing in the temperature from what we used to playing in for this week of practice. So that'll be something our kids need to keep their eye on, and we need to, and trainers and everything, to make sure we get ourselves ready to play the football game.
I mean, bro, that is
It's not
brutal.
so much. It's not so much the number and the temperature; it's the humidity that you got no idea.
But
what you're walking
that's
into.
the thing, though. That's an extreme number. I mean, we're talking about 40 degrees. You are talking about a completely different climate than the one you're living in. I mean, and punching down is hard enough. Going down 40 degrees is hard enough. I always remember we were talking about it before the show. Nick was freezing his ass off in Arkansas last year. Like, I remember going to Arkansas, and even when it was like 40, you feel like, man, this is tough. This is weird. But when you're playing, you eventually warmed up. You got used to it. You can't cool off in the heat. You can warm up in the cold. You can't cool off in this Louisiana heat. So I think Utah is going to be done by the time the second half runs around.
Joe Burrow was speaking to the media on Tuesday as well. He was talking about 11 a.m. kickoffs.
I love them. I don't really like sitting in my room watching all the other games, waiting for our time to come at night. I like getting up at 7, 8, eating breakfast, going to play the game. That's my favorite part.
Extended media session yesterday with Burrow. We'll give you some of the sound bites coming up in the next segment on Off the Bench. 15 minutes or 7:30, we'll talk to Booger McFarland about the NFL. Speaking of the NFL, Saints going to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this Sunday in the Dome at noon. Saints are 3.5-point favorites over Tampa Bay. Dallas Cowboys' 12-10 loss to the New Orleans Saints was the most watched regular season game on NBC since 2016. The defensive slugfest, which went down to the final seconds, drew 24.7 million viewers, which included those watching NBC Sunday Night Football telecast on the internet. The numbers are based on the national data released by Nielsen and digital data from Adobe Analytics. It's the most watched Week 4 NBC Sunday Night Football game ever. Sunday's game had a 35% increase over last year's Week 4 game between the Ravens and the Steelers. Here is some from the no, we don't have anything from the Saints. New Orleans Pelicans training camp began yesterday. One storyline from the camp in preseason will be how the team determines its rotation, with many players competing for roles and minutes. J.J. Redick, one of the new faces with the New Orleans Pelicans, talking about seeing the full squad yesterday work out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just young guys. It's I think 15 new guys. We get 20 guys in camp, and I think 5 guys back from last year. I'm one of the new guys, so we're sort of building slowly. I've been on teams where you come out, day one of camp, and you're running plays from the previous season like clockwork. And on other teams, you have to build a little slower. We'll just take it as it comes during the preseason.
Zion was speaking on Tuesday as well, talking about the difference between college and pro.
I'm gonna say it's not that bad compared to college, because I feel like Coach K ran an NBA style practice as well, so it was very similar. So the adjustment was pretty easy.
Yeah, look, the adjustment's going to be easy for Zion, and I think and just feeling that he belongs. He's not going to be like out of his depth. I still remain, Jordy, very intrigued what the statistical output of Williamson will be year one, and what people would deem acceptable. Like, If he goes out there and gives you like 10-8 a game, is that enough? 12-8? I think objectively, I think that's great for a rookie. But I just, with the expectation level with him, I don't know where people's heads are at.
Saints preseason gets going, or excuse me, the Pelicans preseason gets moving on Monday. They'll open up in Atlanta versus the Hawks. That'll be a 6:30 tip-off here on down in New Orleans in Baton Rouge, South Louisiana. Those are your headlines. MLB wild card last night. Juan Soto delivered a bases-loaded single against Milwaukee closer Josh Hader that scored 3 runs with 2 outs in the 8th inning, thanks in part to an error by rookie outfielder Trent Grisham. In the Nationals came back to beat Milwaukee 4-3 in the NL wildcard game Tuesday night. More wildcard action tonight. The Rays will face the A's.
Who you got?
At 7 o'clock. Oakland.
I got the Rays. Going head-to-head.
If you lose, you got to shave your beard.
No chance. Not shaving until LSU loses.
Those are your headlines. What's up, Nate?
Congratulations to Todd Jones of Prairieville. Todd is our Week 5 winner in the 2019 Twin Peaks Football Pick'em Contest and wins a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. Don't forget to make your picks for Week 6 and play the 2019 Twin Peaks Football Pick'em today at 1045ESPN.com.
Got Joe Burrow's sound to give you. We'll also lay out the Italy trip that Rivers is taking off on today for 10 days. She'll lay it out for us. And then Brody Miller in the second hour talking LSU and Utah State. This matchup Saturday in Tiger Stadium, 11 o'clock kickoff. We'll start to get you ready for it here on Off the Bench.